G'day folks and welcome to Australian UFO Sightings official podcast. I'm your host Anthony Goodall and you're listening to Encounters Down Under. Here we invite guests on the show to tell us about their encounters with aliens and UFOs, where most of our episodes were streamed live from our Facebook page, which gave listeners the opportunity to ask questions to our guests regarding their encounter. If you have had an encounter and would like to be a guest on the show, please get in touch with us. You can send us a message through our Facebook page, Encounters Down Under, or send us an email at australianUFOsightings@outlook.com.au. Be sure to join us on Facebook and share with your friends and family to help us grow, and hopefully encourage others to come forward with their encounter. If you're an iTunes listener and a fan of the show, why not give us that 5-star rating and review, and you could have your review featured on the podcast. But enough of that, let's get into what you've been waiting for. So kick back, relax with your favourite beverage, and enjoy the show. G'day folks and welcome to another episode of Encounters Down Under. We have Azhure joining us back on the podcast as our first return guest experiencer to talk about her other experiences as well as a dream she remembers that could very well have been a reality. So please welcome back to the show, Azhure. Please welcome to the show there, Azhure. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Anthony.
It's great having you back on here. I think you're actually my first guest to have a repeat guesting to the show. You come back on the show there for a second time who's not, a researcher or anyone of great importance in that aspect. But yeah.
Wow, thanks.
Oh no, I was trying to say they're of great importance, but anyway.
It's fine.
But no, look, it's fantastic having you back on here. And hang on, I'm getting interrupted by children here. So, all right.
Yeah,
Thanks, sorry for interrupting the guys. Bloody kids, I'm trying to. Oh no, I got both of them in here now. So anyway, look, guys, I'll let Azhure take over the show here and let her go and tell you a story. So thanks, Azhure. I'll let you get into it.
Thank you. So this is a story that has a couple of parts, but it involves seeing what I know now to be tall greys. As a child, I was looking out a window late at night, and I saw something walking up the back of the backyard towards the window. And being 4 or 5 years old, I thought, yeah, I'm dreaming, definitely. But it walked all the way up to the window, and this window was pretty high off the ground, mind you, so it was pretty tall. And it walked straight up to the window and just stood right in front of the window in front of me. It was grey-white and had really big eyes, and I obviously was very scared. And I was like, Mum. And so I ran to my mum and she told me I was dreaming and to go back to bed, but I was too scared to go back to bed. So I went and I slept in my brother's room. And that was that. Didn't really think much of it since because I thought it was a dream. So fast forward a few years to when I was in about grade 4. This one really spooks me. Because it makes me realize that it wasn't actually a dream and this thing that I saw was actually for reals. I used to play in the creek a lot and make cubbies and play in the mud, etc., catch lobsters. Anyway, I used to go with friends, and then this one time I went by myself, and I saw something, and I was like, oh, what is that? Is that a person that I can talk to and hang out with? And I was like, hey. And then it ran, and I was like, hey. And I chased it because I was, a kid. And it turns around and it's one of these creatures again. And it was really tall, like really, really tall, and had a really massive head. And I shit, not literally, but obviously I was pretty scared. And fell over in the mud and ran in the opposite direction that I came from. Got stuck in these blackberry bushes. It was a time. I was terrified. And by the time I got home, I was obviously pretty scared, and I was telling my mum and my brother about it, and they were laughing at me. They were telling me that I was lying and that was a joke. And I didn't want to leave the house at all. I didn't even want to go to school. I was too scared, so terrified that this thing was going to get me. It didn't even do anything really. It just looked at me. But I ended up telling a couple of people at school. Mind you, I was in grade 3, 4, and they all laughed at me, obviously. Azhure's lying. What a fibber. But this other kid, Jack, was like, "Oh no, that was just me. I was playing a prank on you." And I said, "Jack, you're full of shit. Like, there's no way you're that tall, first of all. Second of all, what did you use on your head?" And he told me that he put a tire wheel on his head. And I was like, whatever. Like, you're just trying to make me feel better, or you're just trying to make a joke out of me. Bleh. Um, but yeah, that's those two interactions that I've seen. Which brings me to dreams. I've dreamt of these creatures before, especially in high school. I used to dream that they would come, and I don't know how to explain this without sounding completely weird, but not that I'm not weird, but anyway, um, I would dream that they would come and put massive syringes in my belly and take babies, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, what the fuck? But they were just these vivid dreams that felt so real and so like vivid, like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd wake up and be like, was that actually a dream or did that actually happen? I'd be too scared to even get out of bed, which brings me to sleep paralysis, which, if you know anything about sleep paralysis, it's where you're kind of awake, but you can't move, and it's like you're being stuck. And I've seen and heard screaming, feeling like really someone sitting on my chest, on my throat. I can't breathe, and all I can do is scream, but nothing comes out. And when I was pregnant with my first, I had sleep paralysis really badly, and I saw one of these, whatever they're called, greys, whatever it is, just like in the wood grains of the roof. And I was obviously pretty scared because I couldn't move or anything. And yeah, obviously when you snap out of it, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, I need to get out of here. And obviously that's what I did. And which brings me back to just, yeah, I don't know, just these were my experiences, and they're pretty full on and scary. And I'm obviously pretty brave to be coming on here and telling the world about this, because who's going to actually believe me? I don't know. Maybe people that have had these experiences with these situations, but it's one of those things that it just feels like you're lying when you're saying it. It sounds like someone's like, you're bullshitting. You know what I mean? But I can tell you that I'm 100% telling the truth. Same with UFOs. I've seen multiple UFOs in my life, and you bring it up and people just look at you like you're loony, like you're an absolute idiot. What are you going on about? But one that's very significant that I didn't talk about last time as well was after the birth of my second child, I went outside to have a smoke, which is gross, I know, judge me, whatever. But I went down the hill to have a smoke and looked out over Table Cape, which anyone local or Tasmanian knows Table Cape is just a big kind of like cliff thing between Wynyard and Burnie. And yeah, I was just looking out there and I saw these two little UFOs buzzing around. And you might think, oh, nah, you're bullshitting, because there's an airport right there and the planes fly over Table Cape. But I can tell you 100% that these were not planes, because there were two balls and they were just hovering along the hillside and then over the actual cliff itself. And then they just went straight up at the end of Table Cape, just. And obviously that scared the crap out of me. And I called my mum and I was like, hey, mum, I just saw some aliens. And she was like, what the fuck is your? I was like, go inside. What are you doing? And yeah, it was kind of just, I've seen them so often. I just went, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, they came to say hello, like, congrats on your baby or whatever. But that was a pretty significant one. Another thing, or another couple of things with Table Cape, is that I then moved to a house right near the beach, which had the like the ocean and then Table Cape right there. And I would often be sitting in my lounge room looking out the window, and then you just see weird stuff happening near Table Cape. There is a big lighthouse on there, and that spins around, and obviously you see the light from the lighthouse, and that's ordinary because, lighthouse. But often you'd see other lights up there. So I got chills talking about this, but there's one significant one that stood out to me. Was just one massive, massive beam of light that was like blue white from the middle of it, and it just went up. And I was looking at it and I was going, what the hell is that? Like, what is that? And I took a video of it and put it on my Snapchat story. And I had people being like, whoa, the aliens are taking over. And I said, yeah, probably. Like, no doubt. But that was a really weird one. Another really weird one is that living where I lived across the road from the Oval, the football oval, and that's where they let off the fireworks at New Year's Eve. So the fireworks go off at 9:30 for the early fireworks, and then 12 o'clock for the 12 o'clock fireworks. But they didn't do 12 o'clock fireworks last year. They just did 9:30. Went off. It was freaking amazing, sitting right in my lounge room, and it was right there. My dog was so scared. But we were waiting for the fireworks, and my daughter said, "What is that, Mum?" My daughter is 4 years old. She says, "What's that?" I said, "What?" She's like, "That blue and green thing, Mum. Look at it." And there was this thing hovering above the oval, and I said, "Oh, maybe it's a drone." And we were having a look at it, but it was really big. Like, it was like the size of a small car, and it was blue and green, and maybe red as well. I'm not 100% sure. But we're watching this just go from one end of the oval to the other. And I kept saying to her, "Oh, it's got to be a drone. Like, it's got to be, because what? How could that be just right there and nobody's noticing it?" And she goes, "Oh, maybe it's the aliens, Mum." And I said, "Yeah, maybe it is." But once the fireworks actually started, it was gone. Like, we couldn't see it anymore. But that was very significant for both me and my daughter to witness that and be like, surely that's an alien. But something that gets me is that, not lately, because it's cold as balls in Tasmania right now, but sitting outside of a nighttime, obviously you see a lot of satellites. There's millions of satellites up there. You just look at the satellite map and it's like, where's Earth? It's just a satellite. But satellites, they travel in a pretty straight line. They just, off they go, they zoom past. They say the biggest one is the International Space Station. You'll see that coming from one end of the horizon to the other. That's nothing out of the ordinary. But what is out of the ordinary is when you get satellites, in quotation marks, that don't go in a straight line and they zigzag around. They'll stop and go backwards, or they'll dart to the left or dart to the right. And it just makes me think, like, what are you doing? Like, if you're a satellite, you're not going to be dancing around in the sky. And if you are a UFO, why are you trying to grab the attention of the humans by doing this? Because surely not everybody's going to be looking at the sky at once. Maybe they think nobody's looking and they're just doing some maneuvers. Who knows, really? But that one always gets me, and I see them pretty often. It's not something that is once in a blue moon. It's like once or twice a week. And that's not out of the ordinary for me, because I've grown accustomed to it. Who knows, maybe it is actually a satellite, maybe it is a drone. But at this point, I just say it's a UFO because it's an unidentified flying object, and it's definitely out of the atmosphere because it's friggin' the size of a star or the size of a satellite. So yeah, that pretty much brings me to the end of my ramble.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And I suppose the first thing that people are
um,
going to ask you to want to do is like, oh, have you tried taking a video of it? But the worst part
yes,
is like you'll try and take a video and it's nothing's going to show.
no,
Uh,
nothing, and that's what's so frustrating. There was a big UFO hovering over Burnie Port one night, and I'm not the only one who saw it. There were people that posted on Facebook and said, "WTF is this?" And obviously, it's a planet. It was um a satellite. It was a meteor, and it's like, what kind of meteor just hovers? What kind of meteor just stays there for an hour and then disappears? You know, planets don't do that. Satellites don't do that. Oh, plovers. Beep, beep, beep.
got some friends with you.
Um,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, lots of wildlife around here. It's beautiful.
that'd be amazing.
But we, I tried to film it. I tried to film it, and I even posted to your group on Facebook. And you know, you zoom in on it, and it starts changing colors, changing shapes, and that could be to do with the actual zoom itself. But to the naked eye, it was like pulsating, and to me, it was like there was one ball in the middle, and then a circle around it that was like plasma. You know what I mean? Like plasma ring.
Yeah, and that's with the naked
um,
eye or through the actual camera itself.
with the naked eye. So
Okay,
trying to
wow.
get it on film and zooming on it just really amplified it, making it look like it was, you know, just the zoom. But it it just blew me away because I thought, yep, that's a UUP, that's a UFO, and you know, brr, it's cold. I'm gonna go back inside now. Next time I go outside, it's not there anymore. And obviously, when I see things in the sky, I check the flight radar, I check the satellite radar. Um, Not much else you can do really, except just watch it and be like, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. Um, so yeah, bringing it back to my last episode, where whoa, okay, no, that's definitely a plane. I just there's something flying in the sky in front of me right now, but it's on
Sketchy.
the flight course. That was sketchy. It's on the flight course to be a plane because planes fly over the top of our town, over the water, and then over to Wynyard, where Table Cape is. So I'll often see things in the sky and be like, oh wait, no, that's flashing red and white. That's definitely it's a plane. But anyway, full circle, back to my first episode with you where I explained about when we were camping and we saw these two UFOs flying and then the bigger one over the tree line.
Yep.
Um, I brought this up with my mother-in-law a little while ago, and she said, "Yeah, I saw it too." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh, wow.
really?" And she was like, "Yeah, everybody at that gathering, there was, you know, hundreds of people there, they all saw it too." And I said, "Why the hell didn't we talk about it?
Yeah.
Why didn't we gather in a circle and tell it like what what's going on?" But you know, the few people I did speak to about it, one woman was just, it was a satellite. They do that sometimes, and I'm like, "Are you sure?" Um, Another person said it was a meteor. So you know, it at the end of the day, it depends on your perspective. If you believe that it's a UFO and there's nothing else that it could be, then that's what it is. If you believe that it's a satellite and you have proof that it's a satellite, or you don't want the proof that it's not anything else, then that's your opinion, you know. But there is a big um, subculture of UFOs and aliens, and a lot of people like them just for that. A lot of people are, oh yeah, I like aliens because of these green little men and they live on Mars or whatever. And it's like, if that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. Um, we don't really have much proof of much else. You know, there are lots of theories out there. There are lots of theories of different species. I know from what I've seen, I definitely believe that what I've seen is true because I've, you know, witnessed it myself. But I think at the end of the day, we're just one planet amongst billions in the world, or not in the world, in the universe, and there's just no way that we're alone, you know? And I just truly don't believe that if they were going to harm us, they would have done it already. If they were going to help us, they would have helped us already. You know, I think we're not alone, but we're left alone. For good reason. My mum says, I reckon the aliens lock their doors when they drive past Earth.
I've seen a meme about that actually.
Yeah, that's where she probably got it from. She likes her memes. But I said, yeah, Mum, you're probably right there. You know, it's like when you're driving through the hood.
Oh,
Quick,
definitely.
lock your doors.
You were going through this the Earth's solar system there with a bit of crazy things going around there. But yeah, look, you touched on a lot of things there, and for one, they like a lot of people don't do themselves is like you actually back check a lot of objects that you see to try and rule them out.
I do,
Um,
because I second guess myself.
yeah, and a lot of people
Because
don't do that.
no. I mean, a lot of people post photos of lights in the reflection of their window and say, oh my God, UFO.
Yeah,
and I'm not discrediting them because, you know, to them, they could have seen that and gone, oh my God, I just got a photo of a UFO. And they're looking for advice. They're looking for your opinion. And I don't think it's fair for people, especially on Facebook, to judge them and say, oh my God, you're so dumb. Like, that's just a reflection of your light. Sorry for the bad accent, but
yeah, you're all good. I thought it was excellent actually.
you know, it is a taboo subject, and I don't want it to be anymore. I want people to come on your show, and I want people to open up about their experiences and just let it all out, because the more people that hear these things, the more people that are willing to come forward with their own experiences and their own stories, even if to them it doesn't seem significant, like, oh, they saw a couple of lights in the sky dancing around. That's fucking amazing. That is so cool. Like, share that stuff. We all want to hear it. I know I do. That's cool as.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
you know, and I'm sure that's why you started your page as well. I know you had your experience as well. I listened to your podcast with your dad, and that was really cool. And you know, it's something out of this world.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, it's out of this world, but it's our world, and it's so fucking cool. Sorry, I keep swearing, but
you're all
I've been trying not to.
right. No, you're doing well. But no, you're right. It's an amazing world, and there's like so much that we don't understand about this world. And so for people to like to go and say things don't exist, it's like, well, you can't prove they don't exist. There is
Exactly
like
right.
little bits of proof here that something that might exist, but a lot of things, like if you uh, talk to any sort of credible sort of researcher, they'll tell you that like 90%, 95% of sightings are misidentified objects that actually have an explanation or something behind it that can be explained.
Yeah.
That little
But there is
5%
that
is that,
5%.
yeah,
Yeah.
that little 5% where something is amazing and you can't explain it, and we can't prove it. And that's that special 5% where all these people around the world are having these encounters and have no idea what they are. And of course, people are coming in asking for advice and all sorts of stuff, and it needs to be taken lightly, I should say, in a sense. Like, approach it lightly and sort of try and come up with an explanation, of course, but do it in a manner where it's
Not
um,
degrading.
not degrading. And that's the biggest part of this whole topic and trying to work out what these things are. Is work together, be helpful and kind to each other, and instead of trying to, yeah, like you said, don't call them a dumbass or some shit like.
Yeah,
Because people make mistakes or people aren't knowledgeable about the illusions that cameras can create.
that's right.
Um, you know,
Lens flares are another big one
oh yeah,
that obviously, you know, even just taking a photo of the moon or the sun um, can create a lens flare. And you might see that and you might think, oh my God, that's out of this world. This is a UFO. And it shouldn't be the end of the world if someone corrects you and says, hang on a second, that's actually just created by the concave of your camera. If that's how it works. I didn't really pay attention in science. But
It does play a little part, but yeah, go on.
but you know, it's being kind. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we need in this world, is to not discredit people and their experiences, but to just be kind. And like, I probably have people listening to this right now thinking, this bitch is crazy. Like, what is she going on about? But what I'm going on about is my experience, and it's my truth that I've been actually scared to talk about, because I've felt for years that I'm crazy. I felt for years that I'm delusional, that I'm making these things up in my head, or that I'm seeing things that aren't really there and telling myself that they're true. And that's been really difficult for me to comprehend and come to terms with. But I've overcome that kind of, and I've just told myself that this is real. This can be accepted, and credit to my people who also believe. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, look, you're doing an
Um,
amazing job, like just doing this in general, like because in the hopes that like it will encourage people to come on the show, or even just to talk to other people about this. Like there's been people I've spoken to in the past there, and they've spoken to their friends, to
mm.
get a bit of an idea of what's happening in their life, and their experiences and that, and it's helped other people, like to reach out and talk about their experiences, sort of thing.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. I remember listening to a podcast from your series, and it was about a guy who was at work, and all his workmates said that he was, a bit crazy, didn't believe him. And then he went outside, and then there was one right above them. And then he said to his workmate, "Come and look at this." And they both watched it together.
yep,
And that blew me away. I loved that episode. That
yeah,
was
that was
really,
Kevin.
really, really good. Yeah, Kevin. Yep.
Kevin, he had an amazing experience there. Like, yeah, and that was like the climax of that episode there, where this guy just total disbeliever, didn't want anything to do with it, and all of a sudden just something just I don't know bit him in the ass, and he's gone, "Here, look at that," sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, check this out. I was doing the dishes when I was listening to that, and I'm giggling, going, "Yeah, that's awesome."
Yeah, no, it's like a big breakthrough
But
for us guys. Like, yeah, we're not full of shit,
yeah, pretty much. I would love to have an experience like that where, or I have had experiences like that actually, where I'm not the only one witnessing it. I'm not the only one seeing it, and I just turn to them and I say, "Oh my God, like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?" And they say yes, and I'm like, "Holy moly,
Yeah,
this is wicked!" Like, my biggest one was, again, the first episode I went on, um, with you, seeing what we saw and seeing it together and seeing the same thing, and not like, it's difficult for our friends to understand, okay? Because our friend, she said, "I need a wee." So she went off and done a bush wee, and of course her partner went with her, and it happened while they were not present. So when they came back, we were like, "Holy shit, did you guys see that?" And they were like, "What?" Like, no. They didn't believe us. They wouldn't believe us because they didn't see it with their own eyes. And I think that is what is the killer of these situations, is that if you haven't seen, or you haven't, seen it yourself, it's kind of like, "Oh, that's hogwash. No one, that's not true." But it happened just then, and excuse me,
yeah,
um, that was, it just blows me away every time I think about it. Um, and again with the first episode, my friend being with me when this craft was right there, and it was right above us, and she still is adamant, "No, it was a helicopter." And I'm like, "Bitch, helicopters make a noise."
yeah,
Um, that one, having that first-hand experience, and her just still being adamant that it couldn't have been anything other than a helicopter. It couldn't have been. It can't be. I think I'm not going to call it small-minded or closed mind, but for me, that was so significant to be 13, 14 years old and have these past experience of seeing these things and then seeing something that like maybe they traveled in. It was just mind-boggling. But yeah, I'm ready for someone to knock on my door and say, either I'm the man in black, I'm going to erase your memory, or you're a loony, come to me, we're going to Spencer.
So that's
Which
the
is the
thing.
mental health clinic.
Yeah, no, we don't go there. But like, the other thing is too, like that's another thing you sort of open up on is like people need to have that experience there for them to actually sort of believe it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they're
that's
not.
right.
Otherwise, they're just going to like blow it off. Like some people obviously um, are open minded to the idea, but obviously haven't an experience, and they're sort of searching for that evidence themselves, like either through the
Yeah,
page or you know, listen to other people's experiences and such like that. But still waiting for their own mind blowing experience there to go and prove everything to them that these things do exist. And that's the unfortunate part. Like you're either lucky or you're unlucky. Like people will go through their whole life they won't see anything at all.
yeah,
You know, and so they whether they believed or not is another thing. But yeah, that's the sad part about it. Like you need to have that mind blowing experience there to be believed, or to have to believe yourself, I suppose.
yeah. And I hope that your episodes on your podcast do make people believe. I hope that, even my episode previous or now makes people go, wow, okay, that's a pretty cool experience. I might try to look into it myself, or maybe spend some more time outside looking at the stars at night time. Or, ooh, hello, Mr. Racer. Um, a car just drove past really fast.
Fair
Um,
enough.
there is lots of evidence out there, but there is also a lot of Photoshop out there. There's also a lot of CGI out there. Um, I suppose it is hard to tell the difference sometimes. But having your own experience, you can look at it and you can say, okay, I believe, or okay, I don't believe. Or even not having your own experience, you can say, I believe or I don't believe. It's fluid.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like the CGI now is getting that good, and like now we've got uh, a new build engine that they're bringing out for video games and that, and like the
Yep.
realism on that is absolutely incredible. So things are about to get next level with the CGI, and it's going to become so hard to tell what's real or fake when it comes to these kind of videos now.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that a bit scary though at the same time?
it is, and like
Like this
I
whole
honestly,
metaverse thing. Oh, I don't know about that.
I absolutely hate the videos on Facebook there with the fake UFOs and that, because to me
Yeah,
it discredits a lot of legit ones.
it does, and that's what the sad part about it is that, you can go on TikTok and you can say you type in UFO and then you walk outside and point the camera at the sky and then all these UFOs come down. It looks really cool. Like it looks legit, but it's not legit,
Oh, so is it like
you
a
know?
little augmented reality sort of video you're taking?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's trippy as. It's really cool. I'm not going to say it's not cool because it is. It's very cool. But when I first saw it, I was like, holy crap. Oh, it's a filter. It's
Oh,
like it's
damn.
not real. It's not real.
Yeah, see, I don't have
Um,
TikTok, so I'm missing out on a lot of those filter things there. So, but it
oh,
just
you're not
goes to
really
show that a
missing
lot
out.
of no. But just it goes to show that there's a lot of crap out there now that is just gonna start discrediting a lot of the genuine ones. Then
Mm,
yeah, like as much as like people might say like they're artistic or they're sort of representing something that might actually be real, which is yeah,
mm,
look, it's fair enough. That it's obviously got to have some sort of inspiration from somewhere, but the fact is that it's still someone trying to claim it as a real sighting,
mm.
and that's what sort of pees me off a little bit when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Just going back on that, um, I used to always think when I watch movies and stuff, like especially horror movies, that it's obviously not real, but I used to always think like they must have got these ideas from somewhere. Like this has got to be real.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It sort of makes you wonder, like, how far do they know? Like, if you want to go to conspiracies and that, like, the government sort of knows everything that's going on around the world and whatnot.
Mm. I don't even count that as a conspiracy anymore, dude. I seriously, they know what's going on. They're just
Oh,
not
yeah,
telling
definitely.
us, because you tell the public and mass panic. COVID is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a virus. Oh my God, we gotta buy all of the toilet paper.
What
Um,
was with that?
oh, dude, I don't even know. It started with one person, and then it snowballed. And
Yeah.
I think that that's just a perfect example of how you can control the public. How you can say, oh, example, there's an alien invasion. Don't leave your house. Don't, keep 1.5 meters away. Wash your hands because the alien germs will get on you.
Yeah.
Like, just twisting it a little bit. Um, Hysteria. Like buying everything from the shops. First of all, rude.
Yeah.
Um, but then there's also the flip side of learning to be self-sufficient and not relying on the government. Buying your own pardon me. um, Yellow fizzy. Um, Buying your own land, becoming self-sufficient. Um, you know, it's a dream at this point with the rental crisis, the buying crisis. I think the government is doing all of this on purpose just so they can fuck us over. That's a
Yeah.
conspiracy for you.
Yeah. Oh, look,
Anyway,
I
I won't go
don't,
down that
I don't doubt
train
it.
because that's that's a different subject. That's a different topic that I can talk your ear off for hours about. But you know, it's it's all one full circle.
Yeah. And like the thing is, like like you're saying, people panic buy and that. Like, I don't know if it happens everywhere around Australia, but Central Queensland, when we have the big rainfalls come through, everyone panic buys
Yeah,
going buying milk and bread.
yeah,
And it's like, all right, if the road's going to cut off, you're going to buy the two of the main things that are going to go off within like 3 to 4 days,
mm,
and so we're
yeah,
going to eat then. You know, the logic, like humanity is stupid in its own way in that sort of aspect of things.
yeah. I
Um,
agree. I mean, you'd get staples, surely.
yeah,
I sometimes often think, sometimes often, what? Uh, when I do my groceries online, I think I hope they don't think I'm a panic buyer because I buy 15 milks and 6 things of bread and lots of toilet paper and that's just for me bloody month.
yeah,
You're like, I promise I'm not panic buying. But when all the panic buying started, I couldn't get my bulk buys. I could, would walk into the shop and there would be signs everywhere. You can only buy one milk at a time. You can only buy one thing of rice. You can only buy one thing of toilet paper. You can't buy one. You can only buy one thing of baby wipes, one tin of formula, one of this, one of that, two of that. And it was like, are you seriously restricting us right now, everybody, because of a few dickheads? Not
yeah.
fair.
Like,
And it
I know
wasn't fair
it is
because
is unfair. It is, but in a sense, it also had to be fair because otherwise those idiots would just go and buy everything out.
that's
So,
true.
yeah, in a sense, they sort of
Got to appeal
did
to
need
the
to do it, but
masses.
yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, look, yeah, when it comes to like people keep saying there's going to be some sort of alien invasion going to be set up by the US there. Like, I don't think there is going to be anything like that. For
I
one,
don't think so either.
you mentioned it
I
earlier
really
there,
don't. Not in our lifetime, anyway.
probably not, no. Well, I hope not anyway, because
Hopefully, they come down and actually save us from this freaking climate change.
oh, yeah. Like, you mentioned it before, like, if they were really interested in going to attack us, they would have done it already.
Oh, I mean,
Um,
how long has the Earth been here?
oh,
There is evidence and there is proof that they have been here before, or something. Technology, if I can say that word at all,
technological.
has been here before. Technical, yep, that's the one. It has been here before. There's cave paintings. There's hieroglyphs, whatever the fuck those things are called.
Hieroglyphs.
Yes, my tongue's getting quite twisted right now.
Yep.
But You know, they've been, they've gone. They came, they saw. They
Yeah.
came back now, they'd be like, what the hell is coal? Why are you ruining your Mother Earth for this? Cutting down all the trees? Pfft, idiots.
Yeah.
Catch you later. You know? You know, for all we know, we're just some science experiment in an alien's friggin' drawer or something, you know?
Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah, Alien Ant Farm. I love
Yeah.
that band.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, good band.
Annie,
I've,
are you okay?
I've mentioned this before, and I've spoken to a few people who mentioned the same sort of comment there. Like, we could very well be an alien ant farm. Some people want to say we're in what do you call it? The
Petri dish?
petri dish, something like that. I can't think of it now. The Matrix.
Matrix. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we're in some sort of Matrix. It's like, wow, all right. It's certainly a theory. It's out there, but look, in the end, like we don't really even know. Like
Well,
everyone's
that's it.
basing
And at the
everything
end
off
of the
religion,
day,
or
if we
what's real.
focus our minds on something bigger than the picture, we're going to miss the details. And I think that's so important to remember is that if we're focusing our lives on what's going on outside of our own life, then we're dedicating our time to the wrong thing. And some might say that about believing in UFOs or aliens or paranormal or whatever, but your mind, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. I think if you just focus on yourself, your family, your own town, rather than what's going on outside, like worrying about wars in different countries, worrying about famine in different countries. Those things are horrible and not great, but it's not happening where you're living. You should be focusing on what's going on. Um, not worrying about conspiracy theories, not worrying about this or that, you know. Maybe some might think that that's small minded and close minded, but it's also pretty brave to not let the weight of the world weigh you down. Um, you know, I've been through all of these thoughts and processes of what if the aliens do come? What if the aliens are watching me? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And it gets to a point where you just have to change your mindset and say, what if they're not? What if we're actually just living our life? What if we're not in a matrix? What if it's not an augmented reality? What if we're not an alien ant farm? We don't really know. We can only base our theories off of what we do know. And if that's science, that's cool. If it's religion, okay, cool story, bro. Needs more dragons. But, you know, it's, some might say you got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
But
most
who
definitely.
knows?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
I'm
Look,
just rambling at this point. Sorry,
yeah,
man.
no, look, no, look, you're absolutely nailing the hammer on the head. Did I say that right? Yeah, but no, look, you nailed it. In the end, we don't know what's going on. We just go by what we taught from a young age that this is life. This is how you live your life. We're in a life's
Conform.
yeah, life's just a process. It's we're just a bunch of sheep in a sense. You know, follow this
Hopefully
path and
not.
just don't stray off that path, otherwise you're gonna get in trouble.
Well, fuck the system. Live your own life. Live how you want to live your life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Obviously, don't go and kill and murder people for lols or,
Yeah.
you know, but do what suits you and suits your lifestyle and your life. And if you want to believe in aliens and you want to believe what you see is true, then believe it. If you want to believe in God, believe in God. If you want to believe that there's a freaking little leprechaun living in your front yard, believe it. You know, at the end of the day, it's your life. At the end of the day, you're the one who has to live it, and just live it. You know, because no use beating around the bush and dilly daddling and random shit.
Yeah. I just will add on to that though, like yeah, it's your life and how you want to perceive it. But there are some things there that you can't deny
Yeah,
from
and
a
that's
perspective,
exactly
and
right.
like don't lose reality on the reality that's here, kind of thing. Like
That's
try and keep
pretty
things
much
level, grounded.
that's what
Keep your
I'm
feet grounded but open
yeah
minded.
trying to say is that if you expand your mind to a place of we live in a matrix, you're gonna believe that. What you believe is what you live. Be life, belief, you know? It's it's a tricky situation, you know? Because you could be conformed to believe religion is the only way, but then you're introduced to science and you go, hang on a second, this actually makes sense. Or you believe in science and you're introduced to religion or faith or whichever faith that might be, Christian, Buddhist, whatever the other ones are called. It's everybody has their own belief system, and I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm supposed to be talking about UFOs.
Yeah, no, look, it's not a bad way to go about it. To be honest, like the way I can sort of touch on it is you find something that you might sound convincing. It's a good idea to go and educate yourself a bit more on it and sort of like dig under it and try and dig underneath it to make it collapse so you can get a better understanding, kind of thing. You know,
Yeah,
like is this going to lead you towards a reality of something that could be happening, or is it just going to be a dead end, or is it just all bullshit? The best thing is just to learn about whatever it is that you've got an interest in, like UFOs for one. People researching the whole thing there, and while these things do exist, it's a big massive rabbit hole, and whichever
it is a
path you
rabbit hole.
take,
Yeah,
it can lead you down to people want to conspiracize about different alien beings there that live in the Pleiadians and reptilians and all sorts of stuff. Whether or not they are real, no one really knows except for the people who have had experiences with them.
yeah,
Um,
and that's exactly right.
and it's just like talking about vampires or you know leprechauns and such like that.
Leprechauns or
You know,
pixies, or
um,
because
whether they're real or
throughout
not.
the ages, there's folklore,
That's right.
there's there's the dream time, there's all of these millions of years of history of passing down stories. Maybe they are just a story, or maybe it is real. If you want to believe in it, then believe in it. If you want to dive deeper, then dive deeper.
Yeah, and that's
Oh
probably the best
no,
thing to do. Dive right down deep into it to try and figure out if these things were real or not.
or are real.
Yeah, or are real.
Indeed.
So hey, look, we'll go back to your experiences there. Excuse me, my turn to have a burp. Anyway, so with this, you said you the fireworks there, and you had this object hovering around, and
Yeah.
what could have possibly been a drone. So this what leads me to the question of like when you seen it, like when it flew away, did it sort of like disappear into the distance, or did it like just suddenly disappear, or what happened there?
No, it zoomed off really quickly. Just shoo.
Is it like beyond what probably a drone could do, or like
Well, as far as I can tell, yes, because 1 minute it was there and we were watching it, and the next minute it just went really quickly and it was gone.
okay,
But
so
the thing is, with it being a drone, it was really big. Like, it was really big. I don't like, the only thing I can compare it to is a small car,
yeah, so
like
that's
a little.
incredibly large then.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, well, we wouldn't have been able to
Yeah,
see a drone from where we were at my house to across the road, across the other side of the freaking oval.
because there are drones that
Like,
are pretty large. Like if you get the higher end sort of stuff, like the higher end drones, like they are like the professional sort of ones, like photographies and videos and that, they are quite large.
yes, but
Um,
I Googled it. I know that's not credible, really. But I mean, I Googled the crap out of it and I said, can there be drones this big? And it was like, drones are usually this big. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, shit. Did me and my daughter actually just witness something out of this world?
yeah, yeah. But I'm just trying to like do something as what you just did. Like you actually try to figure out for yourself there,
Yeah,
a ratio aspect, I'm losing myself here now. I've lost, something to sort of relate it to. And like if you're saying like it's the size of a car, then like yeah, drones are probably like maybe like quarter the size of a car for the professional ones there. But
yeah, maybe the bonnet.
yeah, that's probably about as large as I can figure them out to be. Like about maybe a meter wide or something like, or maybe a
Mm.
meter and a half wide. But anyway, but yeah, so for something
And I
to be
mean,
that
I
size and no one to see it, that's the next thing.
that's the thing that I like. Obviously, I couldn't look at everybody and where they were looking because there was a sports carnival happening, and it was very loud. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't make out if it had any like propellers or anything like that because usually drones have those little fan things on the side or whatever.
Yep.
But to me it just looked like a flashing car just floating
Yeah.
around. It was bizarre. It was so strange. And what's so strange about it to me is that my daughter pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
It come from over the water to around the other side of the oval. And if anybody who's listening knows this oval, one side has a stadium like seats, and then the other side is like the oval, and then there's the highway. This went around the other side of like over the top kind of the stadium. And I feel like if it was filming and it was a camera, it would have gone over the middle or closer down to the side or something, not just kind of hover around and have a look. So
Yeah. It's intriguing.
I mean, it is a big event as well.
Yep. Yep. So that's fair enough. Like yeah, like you're saying, like it would have been getting a lot of footage from different angles and such if it was an actual footage drone for that purpose. So it sort of makes you wonder what was it doing.
Wow, that's exactly what I wonder all the time. What are they doing? What is their interest? What is that? Oh, I have to try and sneak inside because my phone's on 5%.
Oh shit.
Dun, dun, dun. Hopefully my kids don't see me
Yeah. No, you're right.
because they'll be like, Mom!
Go stealth mode.
Stealthy. Dun, 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 dun.
Might be Mission Impossible music needed for this. Wonder if I can edit that
I
into
need
the
one of those
podcast.
one of those cables. I'm trying to steal a diamond. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Dun,
busted!
dun, dun. I've been busted. All right, I think we might have to wrap it up now.
Yeah, no, look, there was a couple other questions I was wanting to go and quickly get
Oh
into.
yeah,
If
no,
you
that's
don't mind.
fine. Yeah. No,
So,
I don't mind.
will
I'm
you
talking on the phone. Yes. Uh-oh, did my phone go flat?
No, you're good. No, sorry, I'm right. I thought you might have been fighting off children.
No, it's fine.
All right, good.
Oh, actually, I'll go out the back. What other questions?
Yeah, I've only got one other one. Like you're referring back to your whether you were having these vivid dreams or sort of
Yes.
repressed memories, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you like
Hopefully
wake
not,
up?
but yes.
Yeah. Was it like? Did you have any like when you were growing up like any sort of scarring or any sort of markings that might indicate anything happening?
I've thought about this a lot, and the answer is no, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so nothing's been happening in the past there, like you were saying, like you've been taking away pregnancies and that. Nothing in relation to that at all, like in.
No, but around the time, this is something that is. I've put it down to a coincidence. Around the time that I was having these dreams, around 13, 14, 16 years old, I did have an unexplained. My dog is sulking. Unexplained cyst erupt on my ovaries, and the doctors kept asking me like, "Is there any way that you're pregnant?" And I'm like, "Excuse me, I'm 13." No. But yeah, at the time I was just like thinking, surely it couldn't be the aliens, like, that's a bit crazy. So I did have surgery for that, but no, I don't think that was related.
Yep. Fair
entirely.
enough. Okay. So, with your friend also, where you're saying you're walking through the bush there, and your friend doing the tire over his head,
Yep.
like how were you with that again?
I was in grade 3 or 4.
So your
I think
friend
grade
to
4.
go and put a tire over his head, like tires aren't light,
No, and
and
it wasn't.
so
It was not. It wasn't round either. It was more like an oval shape.
yeah, but like for a
Um,
what would you be like maybe 8 or 9?
8 or 9, yeah,
Yep,
9
and
or
like
10.
for an 8 or 9 year old to go and put that over their head, good luck to him.
Yeah. No, I think he was only saying that to try and comfort me to make me feel like I didn't actually see what I saw and to sort of reassure me.
Yeah,
But at the same time, he could have been saying that just to troll me, kind of thing.
yeah.
Hang on a sec. I'm just going to mute you so I can yell at my doggo. Maybe.
You're right. Yeah, no, it was either trying to be a good friend, yeah, but it just yeah, the whole situation itself didn't make sense. Like, but did you actually like see any like more detail of this being or?
All I can relate it to is that a few years later, there were these creatures in Doctor Who called the Silence. If anyone is a fan of Doctor Who, you know that this is this like really tall, lanky kind of alien-looking thing with a big head, and they go like and point their fingers. Like when I saw that, I absolutely freaked the fuck out because I was like, that is really, really, eerily fucking close to what I saw. Um, all I can explain is that it was not human. It was not human, and I've spoken to my dad about it, and he's just gone, oh, whatever, or like, no way. But I never went back to that part of the creek again. I was way too scared. Um,
I don't blame you.
I no, I went further down creek a bit, but I loved playing in the creek as a kid. It was beautiful. But yeah, I was way too scared. Way too scared. It was so scary. And I remember my mum just growling at me because I got my clothes muddy. And you know, she didn't like it that I was always playing in mud and stuff. Like I was a tomboy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Those are velvet pants, Azure," and I was like, "That was a fucking creature, mum."
Yeah, no, I have a look at those creatures there. I would run. I would shit myself, to tell you the truth,
Yeah,
if I see one of them.
I bolted. I don't think I've ever run so fast in my life. But I got stuck. Like I crawled through this tunnel, and I'm pretty sure it was actually a wallaby tunnel. um, just trying to get away. I didn't look back. I didn't bother. I was like, no, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Um, but a few months later, there was a big storm. And it absolutely flooded the creek and flooded the road, and lots of trees were upturned, and I just kept telling myself that like maybe it got killed. maybe it got killed in the storm.
Well, maybe. You just never know. But like, it also brings you back to when we were discussing before about movie props or character ideas. With these sort of things. Like if that looked like what you described, it was with those hissy things from the silences, whatever they're called from Doctor Who. Like
Yeah,
that's an inspiration right there for the show.
yeah,
If these
exactly.
things
And
were actually real, well, obviously it is real because you've seen the damn thing. So
yeah,
it's just yeah, that's scary. Um,
mm.
yeah, that would I think I'd be like in a fetal position in the corner of my room if I saw something like that. To tell the truth.
Well, yeah, seeing it, not it, but similar when I was having sleep paralysis, that really scared me because I know that it wasn't the same, but it was just a wood. Like, you know how you see faces and stuff in wood grain?
Yep.
It was just staring at me and I couldn't move. I was like, oh my God, they're coming to get my baby. Um, but actually, another really weird thing is that I took a photo one day and I've been searching for this photo for ages. Don't know where it's gone, but I took a photo one day of a river and bushes. And when you zoom in,
it looks like there's a little alien creature thing standing next to a tree. And I was trying to show my partner, and I was like, "Can you see this?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "No, like there's the head, there's the legs, like, oh my God." And he was like, "No." Like, what are you going on about? You're seeing things. And I was like, okay, maybe I am seeing things, but that was a weird time.
A bit of pareidolia, maybe.
I
Where
don't
you
know what
see
that means.
faces. It's where you see faces in anything really. Like you can look into shadows or like especially like pictures and that when you're taking a photo or something, like the shadows and the pixelations can sort of create faces or
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's not to say that you got pareidolia in that sort of moment. Like you could have something genuine you don't know. That's part of their camouflage. Maybe they how they blend in, hide and whatever. This is another one of those things you just don't know. But a lot of people do seem to have a lot of pareidolia when it comes to the paranormal aspect of sort of things. So they'll take a photo or
Yeah.
something, they're going, "Oh, something's weird over here," and take a photo, and like, you know, cameras create pixelations and shadowing that doesn't give it any credibility to what they're trying to take a photo of. But the next thing people are saying, "Oh, there's a face here and a face here, and oh, you got demons in your house. Go on,
Yeah.
power of Christ compels your house, whatever."
I did
Yeah.
have an experience with paranormal. I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm getting stumbled here, but when I was in high school, um, oh goodness me,
Oh dear.
no monster games. My kids are so noisy. I feel so sorry for my neighbors sometimes. Anyway, back to the situation. Anyone who knew me, I'm so embarrassed. When I was in like grade 7 and 8, they probably just remember me for this situation. So we were standing in the science block waiting to go into the classroom, and then there was this brick wall outside. And from the brick wall, all I can put this down to was a psychotic breakdown. Like professionally, this is what it was, but my experience was so real that all I can say is that it was a ghost. So there was this brick wall, and it was like white chalk stuff on it, and this little ghost came out of it, and it started walking towards the door, and it triggered me because it made me remember when I was younger, of this ghost slash grey alien thing, whatever it was, walking towards me at the window. So I started screaming and freaking out because there was this ghost. And my teacher walked down the hallway to come and let us in the classroom, and he was like, "What is wrong with her?" And everyone was laughing at me, and they were like, "Ha ha ha, she's crazy." And I was just not well because what the fuck was that thing? And yeah, I had to have, well, I had to go to the, I had to go to the school counselor after that for a couple of years. Well, no, a couple months. And they all just deemed me as psychotic, and that's really disturbing me because a lot of people do have these experiences, and we have these um, things that happen in our life, and people just put it down to, oh, you're psychotic, oh, you're having a mental breakdown. This is not real. This is not reality. There's no possibility that this could have been real, when it was very real. And the only solace that I found in that situation was my boyfriend at the time. Shout out to Billy. Um, his mum is a psychic medium, and I spoke to her about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I believe what you saw was real, and you just got to find your inner peace with it." So that's what I did, and now I don't have those experiences anymore. So, oh my goodness.
No, look, honestly, talking to other researchers and stuff like that, and other people as well, like there seems to be like a connection between the paranormal and UFO aspect of things. So, for all you know, you could have had it's a I don't know, sort of a way to enlighten yourself there, where it's sort of built you up to being able to have these other experiences in the future, if that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah.
So, there's a lot of things that still go unquestioned, or go questioned but unanswered. and I guess we'll never know again what the connection is between these different worlds until people actually get funded and actually know what they're doing with this sort of thing to go and dive in deeper with it. You know, it's
Yeah. I think we need to call Ghostbusters.
I don't think they'll be able to save us in this world. The world's already lost.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No. Look, anyway, we'll leave you there. These kids sound like
Yep.
they're going to be making you go crazy soon, so...
Oh, mate, I'm used to it. My eldest is the loudest, most world-hearted person you'll ever meet, and she does not give a crap.
At
At the moment, she's running up and down the hallway screaming, la 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 la.
Oh, nice. Oh, look, at least they're cheering and happy and having fun. That's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, look, again, thank you again for coming back on the show there. Hopefully you've encouraged a lot more other people to come on the show, or, you know,
I
just
hope so
in
too.
general to come and talk about their experiences there. Because that's the aim behind this whole thing, you know, making people understand and this sort of make them understand, like, not to hide away and, you know, be scared to reach out and talk about your experiences anymore. So hopefully you, again, thank you for coming on and talking about your experiences there and encouraging others to come on the show, hopefully.
Yeah, no worries. Hopefully too many people don't hear this and think, wow, she's actually just a crazy bitch.
Look,
Because, yeah, but if they do, then that's their opinion. That's fine. But I encourage people to, you know, find their own enlightenment.
yeah. Oh, look, you don't have to be crazy to see these things, you know, like everyday people are seeing these things, like police, lawyers, you know, military are seeing these things. So
The
to go and call
professionals.
people, oh, yes, the professions, you know, there's awesome people in the world. You know, I've lost myself now again, but, you know, they're seeing these things. So you're not crazy. Anyone who does think you're crazy and is go and look themselves in the mirror going, maybe I'm the crazy one for not thinking these things are real. But anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah, so look, again, we'll leave you there. And look, again, thank you very much for coming back on the show. It was great having you back on for a second time.
Thank you for having me on.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
You too. Cheers. And that will do it, folks, for this episode of Encounters Down Under. I hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, you can also get involved in the show by joining the Facebook page and getting in on the live streams. Also, please be sure to share with your friends and family to help us grow and potentially find our next guest on the show. If you or you know someone who has had an encounter, please get in touch with me through our Facebook page via Messenger or email at australianufosighting@outlook.com.au. I look forward to seeing you on the next Encounter Down Under. Hooroo!